Yes, a whole lot of people think that agriculture, first of all, one thing, when you hear agriculture, you feel that agriculture is a dirty business. And there are so many people that wouldn't want to go into it because of the stress that is involved in agriculture. Considering what has happened in the olden days past, where our parents would trek from village to the farm to work, and at the same time, those that have small poultry houses are just doing the smaller one, and it doesn't take so much from them, and it doesn't use so much, and it's only just for them to be able to have food to eat on the table. But lately, I'm here to convince you, and I'm here at the same time to let you know that before I become a farmer, I take my time to manage my own investment, and I manage other people's investment, and so I was able to see what they call a cash flow coming into the farming business. And when you see people doing not just farm, other businesses, you need to monitor how this business rise from up to down, from down to up. There is no business that doesn't have a drawing board. Every businesses have a drawing board. And while we are growing and doing this business, we should consider that there is no CEO that has gone so higher that has not failed before. It's either it has failed in one aspect of business or the other aspect. This include the kind of mechanism you're bringing into the farm structure. Today, when I talk about farm, I talk about farm as somebody who has already understand the system of farming. In the system of farming today, you will discover that you have a different kind of branches in agriculture you need to diversify in. You want to do you want to start cultivating, you want to do the greenhouse, you want to do the poultry, you want to do fishery, you want to do piggery. It depends on each of them, the one you have chosen to do. Now, let's take for example, when I say the regular people can become a millionaire through farm, I know what I'm talking about. I know the processes that I'm talking about. You need to learn what they call, you earn your money wisely and spend on the average level of life. Because some people don't feel that farm is a very good thing. They just feel that, okay, for you doing farm, you are stressing yourself so much. No, it's gone out those days that the people stress themselves so much. When you come to poultry is a very, very lucrative business. When you come to piggery is a very lucrative business. When you come to goat is a very lucrative business. When you come to yam is a very lucrative business. It depends on the one you find yourself. Now, you can't be doing with 1,000 capacity of bed and compare yourself with the person that is doing 20,000 capacity of bed. In my own farm today, I didn't start with the current 20,000 I have. I am scaling high to get over 40,000 currently. But when I started with 10,000 because that is my own capacity of what I can start with. But you being a regular person can still start with 1,000. How do you do it? First of all, you look for a land that is out of town, where will not give people the air pollution, because this is one of the things the Ministry of Environment has kicked against. You can't put your farm close to town where it will have a lot of air pollution, because the armor that comes out from the farm, most especially the poultry farm, the piggery farm and the goat farm, are very high. They are capable of harming humans. So, but we living in the farm, we always understand that we need to protect ourselves with all the gadgets that can be able to protect ourselves from the disinfectants and be able to cover our nose with nose masks, because we don't have to be infected with those things. You can start with any small margin that you can start with. You can start with 500. You can start with 200. You can start with 1,000. It depends on what your capacity are. But the question is, why you want to start growing from becoming a thousandaire to millionaire? You need to understand that it's a process. You must apply patience. You must spend less. You must know how to do what. Give yourself timing. Farming is timing. If you ask me, if you are just coming into the system new, the first thing I should tell you to learn, if you want fast money, go into boiler farms. Go into boiler in poultry business. If you ask me, boilers are the only thing that you can do in 6 weeks. You start selling. You can start with even 100. Just imagine. Let me do a proper analysis for you. For example, the analysis you need to understand. In farm business, when you come to boiler business, probably you're buying your boiler with 1,150 naira or 120 naira. Then your scaling price of selling, when it comes, it will be about 0 point something kg to 0 point something whatever it is. It depends on the gram that it comes with. You have to make sure you feed this bird, give them drugs, administer the drugs, make sure they get to at least 2.5, 2.2 and 3 point something before you start selling. You can't sell 2.5 the same amount you are selling 2.8. You can't sell 2.8 the same amount you are selling 3 point something kg. Now mind you, because you come in with 300 pieces of bed, does not mean that all of them will have to scale in the same size, meaning that you can be able to sell your bed different prices. In broiler business, it is easier for you to make profits. The question is, what do you want to match up with your profit with? What kind of manpower do you have? You can even decide not to have any employee because you have only 300. With your small 500,000, 200,000, you are able to purchase this 300 and you are able to carry on with this business. Feed them with at least, this margin will not take you more than 4 to 5 bags or 6 bags or even 10 bags, for example, that you want to use feeding them. In the market today, 2.5 kg of chicken, live weight, you can sell it for 7,500. You might end up training those birds with the margin of 4,900, 4,800, 4,700. It depends on how much you want to train them with. At the end of the day, you'll be having a profit of 2,100 or 2,300. Let's say in the worst case scenario, when you're able to train your bird to 7 weeks, not 6 weeks per sale or 8 weeks per sale, you run into 5,100 and you sell them for 7,500, 7,000, 8,000. It depends on how much you are selling, because sometimes if you sell live weight, you sell lower, or when you sell processed chicken, you sell higher, which means you are giving to hotel that sell retail, or you are giving to that sell the fast food and all that. Now at the end of the day, you check all your profit and you see you are making the minimum of 2,000, maximum of 2,500 or 3,000 naira per bed in all your stress of 6 weeks, and you are able to say, let me do let me do a match-up line with every week. I'm able to put in 3,300, 3,300, 3,300 in 6 weeks. That is a month and 2. If you times your 2,000 naira times 300, you are getting about 900,000. Your 900,000, if you are able to manage yourself and match up for 5 months, 5 months you hit about 4 million naira. Ask yourself a question: the regular person, has he not become a millionaire? He has become a millionaire. Then you start growing. A lot of us does not know that in this process, you still need to grow your business. You bring back this money, you return it back to that investment. You do it because there's no business that survives the test of time that you can just get within 1 year you start eating your profits. Because first of all, your gross is not your net, and your net is not your gross. You must understand this arithmetic, because when you are doing your profit and loss account, you must understand that there is what they call return to investment. On your return to investment, you have to put back the money you are making as your own profit, your net profit, or your gross profit, or whatever you call it you're making. You are returning it back to this business. So as a farmer, this calculation has to be measured up with, and know that everything in the farm is money. Every single thing in the farm is money. So you can start small and grow big. You can have your consistent time of doing this. If you don't do it consistently, you will not get it. Now, you can start a farm with 500,000. Empowerment from your father, from your mother. I don't think there's any family in Nigeria today, no matter how difficult it is, that they cannot be able to raise up 500,000 naira to be able to start up a farming business, no matter how it is. Or even $1 million naira. You can start with $1 million naira. And this is money that some of us have carelessly eaten, spent in wrong way, without knowing that this can be able to give us money, make us millionaire. But what we don't have is, we don't have the mindset of building patience. Consistency is running away from us as young people. If we are able to understand that consistency is the best teacher for us to be able to win, we will continue to reinvest in ourselves. That is why I said, you earn more, you spend less. You become an average spender and become a higher earner. But if you become a higher spender and average earner, you run out of business. A lot of people run out of business. And you must learn one attitude. For you to be a millionaire, or for you to come into the system or line of becoming a millionaire, you must understand that 8 to 5 job is a sustenance for you to be able to build up yourself. You don't need more than your. If you know you are going to look for a job of 150,000 and you are living in a distance, of spending only transportation half of your salary, drop that job. Is not your job, because you need to first of all accrue your own income. Your salary basics. If you go to your salary basics, you see where they say transportation, housing, this, that. That is where your non-discriminatory agreement comes from. If you are doing those jobs to be able to raise money, you must raise it and have this mindset. Now, what is your potential? Where are you going to? What is your vision? Don't go to a job where only your transportation is able to cover up 80% of the money they are paying you. So if they pay you 80% of the money, and that is where stealing comes from. And that's where you see people steal from the business, steal from somebody individual business, forgetting the fact that you need to grow yourself from that 8 to 5 job, then and become your personal entrepreneur. So in farm, all these mechanisms are all put in place. There is no different drawing board from the farm, from farm to white collar job or to corporate job. Farm has decent things, but farm need more dedication, more patience, more determination, more spirit of resiliences that will not make you deviate from becoming that great farmer. We didn't start here. We started with 10,000. Last year we look at it that we are trying to do more, where we added another 10,000. Now we have 20,000 in our beds. When I started my own farm, I remember the first boilers I got, I lost all my boilers. So don't think that maybe probably when you are coming in there, because I'm saying this, you feel, oh, there's no risk in this. There are risks involved, because when you are coming, you calculate risk. For me as an investor, the first thing I think of is the risk. If I want to do this business now and the business is going to cost me 20 million naira, I should be able to have a backup of another 5 million naira, so that anytime that risk comes, I should be able to attack it. That is the first thing I think of. This thing applies to you that want to do an investment of 1 million naira. You should be able to have at least 30% of that money aside in case if that risk comes. And that's why we say, you see, the risk takers has backup. That is why you see somebody risking it all. When I want to risk it all, I want to take it from the root to the top. For you coming into the business, you must understand that you can't be able to match up with what you want to become unless you have decided that you want to do 8 to 5 jobs for all your life. But for you to be a good entrepreneur, for you to be a millionaire, for you to step out from whatever you think you are doing and go to the top, you need to understand that if you decide to come into farming business, if you decide to invest into farming business, you need to understand that there are key principles you need to put in place, because you have your workers, you have that farm to deal with, you have a whole lot of things to deal with in that farm. Not just only that, you are still going to deal with people with different characters, whether small or big. If you don't give it your time, and there's something again I tell people, I say, know your business. Know your business. If you know and understand your business, you become guru inside the business. When I lose 3,000 bed at the point of purchase, I say, oh, it's a part of it. Maybe probably some of the profit I made yesterday, that's what I lose now. I don't give up because I lose it. I pick up from that place. It's a part of my mistake. It's something I need to learn from. Now, what is the causes of those my lost in that farm? What is the causes of those loss that I have? Those are the things I have to look at. When I look at them, I bring them together and I pick myself and move on. But one thing we should put in the back of our mind: there is no greater person that has made it without losing. You must fail, you must lose before you win. When I follow some of the billionaires today online, I follow Elon Musk, I follow Mark Zuckerberg, I follow Ben Bruce, I've always heard one of their quotes where they say, I have always lose, but I don't give up. These apply to corporate body, apply to farming system. In farming system, you must learn how to lose and you must learn how to win. Losers don't fail. Losers win steady. When you lose, you pick up and keep running again, you will win. But when you lose and decide to run away from the system, you don't win. But today I'm telling you, farming is one of the sweetest things that can raise you from becoming a thousandaire to a millionaire, if only you can be patient enough to do that. It doesn't end in only boilers, it doesn't end in only layers, it doesn't end in fishery, it as well doesn't end in piggery. It cut across everything that has to do with production. Production, as far as is an agricultural production, you don't lose, rather you win.